Thank you, Madam President. Permission to hold a small prop.
Without objection.
Well, thank you. I need to hold this Eggman for State Senate stress egg because it's important that I get this right, and I've had this for a while. Colleagues, I had to make some countless decisions as pro tem. Many were hard and some were easy. One of the easiest was naming Senator Susan Eggman to chair the Senate Health Committee. From her days as a medic in the U.S. Army to her work as a mental health provider and medical social worker, I knew she had the experience and the empathy to shape the healthcare decisions that we make as a legislature. I knew she had fierce dedication to expanding the vision and magnifying our emphasis on mental health, a badly needed and long overdue part of the healthcare equation. I also knew she had the gumption to get the job done. You don't come out of nowhere as a lesbian, a Latina, win a seat on the Stockton City Council your first time out. Susan Eggman did. She showed she has the spark of the special from day one, and I am also incredibly lucky to have served with her in both the Assembly and the Senate. In the Assembly, her leadership brought about landmark changes to how we aid those nearing the end of their lives in California. Landmark. She's been a champion for diversion when it makes more sense than detention, and I truly believe her leadership is one of the reasons we now have care courts. And in this last year, we saw her once again shouldering another tough burden by taking on the difficult issues relating to conservatorship. Now, my memory's a little fuzzy, but I remember the speech. I think we were in the Assembly. I think it was a press conference in room 317 on the LGBTQ caucus addressing some of the latest attacks on our community's rights. At that press conference, when Susan came up to the podium, she emotionally shared the story of how the decision had just been made that she and Renee would have to take on the responsibility of raising a relative's child as their own. In that moment, Susan Eggman was the living, breathing embodiment of family values in action. I was so proud of her then, and I'm proud of her now, watching Emmy grow into the young woman she is today. I think of, there's so many times that we have heard on this floor, Senator Eggman get up with no prepared remarks, to make her comments about something incredibly important, and never have I ever heard a better floor speech than in those moments. I said it before, a PhD, a social worker, a teacher, small farmer, rural ag country that she comes from, a lesbian, a woman, a Latina. The lived experience that you bring to this body, the professional skills, has made you invaluable to the legislature. 40 years ago this month, a young woman in New York City was getting ready to make her first movie. Her name was Madonna, and the movie was Desperately Seeking Susan. Senator, you and I, all of us, have come a long way since the 1980s. As I stand before you today to say, desperately missing Susan is going to be one of the main drawbacks to our not sharing serving and sharing together in the California State Senate, and all of you will be desperately missing Susan. Thank you, Madam President.